Welcome back to Ferris Sports Update. Time to talk Bulldog Soccer. I'm with us, head coach Greg Henson. And Coach, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Obviously, your team off to a great start this year, 5-0-1 and winners of 5 straight. And I know nice to be back at home after a couple long road trips.
Yeah, we're real excited to be back here. We got to play at home on Sunday and 4 more here at home before we get back on the road. But it feels like a long 2 weeks, a lot of travel, a lot of miles. But we're happy to be back home, and we'll see how things go this weekend.
Going back to last week, obviously a long trip to North Dakota, South Dakota. Maybe what did you learn about your team in terms of the bonding experience and having that travel?
Yeah, it's always good, especially early in the year, to get on the road and get away from campus a little bit. And I think it's already a tight-knit group, but I think it just kind of gels them a little bit better. In the case of this season, for this new group and with some of the freshmen that we've added to the mix, and it's good to face a little bit of adversity. And the travel itself was the adversity that we faced so far. Just being on a long trip and all the way out there and playing 2 games against 2 tough opponents. So was happy with the results, and we'll keep moving forward.
You followed that up with another trip out to Canton, Ohio, to take on Walsh University on Thursday, and got a big victory, 2-1. Maybe talk about that performance.
Yeah, and Walsh is a good program. They're a national tournament team last year, and we knew it was going to be a tough game going in. And on the heels of the last trip, and then turning around and getting back on the bus and a 6-hour trip down to Canton, we knew it was going to be difficult for us and our team. And then obviously, give up our first goal of the season, which happened 5 games into the year. Is a good problem to have, but you never know how they're going to react to it. And so it was good to see, us come right back and able to get that win, 2-1 over Walsh, last Thursday.
Finally back at home on Sundays. You took on Saginaw Valley State. As we go to some of the highlights, non-conference matchup against a conference opponent that you'll see later on in the year.
Yeah, so it's it served as a regional game for us and a first taste for me to look at kind of the conference opponents and who we have in that. And I thought it was a good match, a good 90-minute battle. It had to deal with some adversity with the weather, rain throughout the course of the match. But a good game and got a good, nice goal, combination play with Bree Rogers and Kinsey Dawes to get the first goal, and then and Kinsey and Pia combining to get the second goal in the second half. So really pleased with the effort. Saw the game out in the second half and continue the winning streak.
Grace Kraft, senior, got the start in net for you in this one after Allison Chesterfield has had a fantastic start to the year. And maybe talk about Grace's performance.
Grace did really well, and we've been looking to get her in, and we have 2 very talented goalkeepers, in Allison Chesterfield and Grace Kraft, and so it's kind of a challenge for me to find minutes for both of them. We had that shutout streak going, and so you kind of have to stay status quo, and you don't want to mess things up in that manner. So Grace was very patient, waiting for her opportunity. I thought she did a great job of going in and having a commanding presence in the game, and coming away with her first win and her first shutout of the year as well.
Take a 1-0 lead into halftime, and always nice to have the lead at halftime in a game like this.
Yeah, especially with the conditions that we were facing as well. So, the second half, we challenged them at halftime to go out and just continue to improve on what we were doing well and pick up the pace a little bit, get a few more numbers into the box and into the attack and create a few more chances of our own. And we were able to do that, earned a corner kick, and able to put that away on the set piece. So happy with that result.
Goal coming up right here. Pia Nagel gets her second goal of the contest and game-winning goal, and something she's kind of been known for in her young career so far.
Yeah, she's got that knack for scoring goals, and that's definitely a skill set in the game of soccer. So, we want to take advantage of getting her as many looks as we can and touches we can in front of the box, and we got her partnered up top right now with Kinsey Dawes, and Kinsey, I think, is leading the team in assists, and that's a dangerous 1-2 punch for us that we look to, continue to utilize as the season goes on for our scoring output.
Despite some of the weather conditions, had a great crowd on hand, and always nice to play in front of a big home crowd and have that home field advantage.
Yeah, I think it was important for us, and I was happy to see that the field held up, and grounds crews are doing a great job for us with that field right now to get that playable, and we want to play on the grass field as much as possible. It's great having the opportunity to go to the turf if necessary, but I think we're a much better team on the grass, and we were happy to play there. And it seemed the rain was going to hold off, but it seemed like every time we got started, it would start coming down. So, but a great crowd, and we're just happy to be back at home and happy to be back at home for the next 4 games as well.
2-0 victory, and as you mentioned, at home this weekend, homecoming weekend. How nice is that to have your team at home here as part of the homecoming weekend festivities?
Yeah, it just gives them an opportunity to be a part of, what all the special activities going on campus, and to, not only as athletes but also just as students to be able to participate in those type of things, and hopefully we'll keep them from being too distracted on the case at hand. We got two games that we got to be ready for, but we'll focus on Davenport on Friday first and get through that, and then we'll worry about the next one on Saturday. So that's our focus, and really where we want to be right now is just one game at a time and worrying about the next opponent on the schedule. And we know we got two tough ones though this weekend for sure.
Davenport and Ashland this weekend, and two opponents that have been right there in the terms of the GLIAC race here over the past few seasons.
Yeah, and they're both off to good starts, and so we're taking a look at them right now on film and trying to see what we're going to be up against. But we expect it to be a tough, competitive match in each of those games, and we hope to be up to the challenge.
Obviously, you're getting into the heart of the conference schedule here, playing these conference opponents in non-conference matchups, and then the start of GLIAC play. Maybe what does it take to move from some of the contests you've played that don't count towards the conference standings to moving into the league race? It's
always challenging when you got to play conference games as conference opponents as non-conference games, I think, because then it makes the conference game that you're going to play in a few weeks even more tough. So we got Saginaw Valley, and we got to go on the road to play them now in a few weeks, and I've already played them. We're familiar with them. They're familiar with us, and so we'll have to tweak a few things. But I think once the conference games start, counting towards the conference standings, it just naturally ups the ante a little bit and makes the games even that much more competitive and intense. And that's what we're here for. We're here to challenge, and we want to be able to compete for a conference championship. Obviously, we've had a lot of low-scoring, close-type games here early on in the year. Maybe how important is it to have that veteran presence with those players coming back, especially on the defensive side? Yeah, it's huge. I mean, we basically returned the back four from last year, and Bree Rogers sitting up right in front of them as a holding mid, and then the two senior goalkeepers that are playing behind. So it's really a back five, back six that we have that's a nucleus, and that's going to be kind of our bread and butter, just being a strong defensive unit, being very stingy in what we allow the other team, and our challenge to the players is that if we're going to concede a goal, we want it to be that player's highlight, that player's that team's biggest moment of their season and their career, and if that's the case, then we'll applaud them and we'll move forward. But other than that, we want to make sure we're being very stingy and taking things away from the opponents, and then making sure we're putting balls in the back of the net on our end to be able to win those games 1 and 2-0. But I joked with the players after the game, 2-0 is like a blowout for us right now. So we hope to be able to put a few more in the back of the net and make the game a little bit easier on us as we move forward down the season. Bulldogs ranked 11th in the country and winners of 5 straight. Coach, congratulations on a great start, and we look forward to talking to you again soon. Thank you very much. We'll be back with more Ferris Sports Update right after this.